Good evening. It's 7:11 p.m. I'd like to call the reorganization meeting of the Board of School Directors to order. At this time, I would like to take roll call on the holdover members of the Board of School Directors. Mr. Bedard.
Here.
Mr. DeFranco.
Here.
Dr. Etlin.
Here.
Mr. Needleman.
Here.
Ms. Lipinski.
Here.
At this time, can everybody please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty for all. At this time, we'll do agenda item C, notice of the organization meeting. Pursuant to section 402 of the Pennsylvania Public School Code of 1949 as amended, you were informed that the reorganization meeting of the School District of Springfield Township Board of School Directors would be held on Tuesday, December 7th, 2021 at 7:00 p.m. in the Freeze Memorial Lobby of Springfield Township High School, and that the meeting was also available via virtual platform. Directions for the connection to and participation to the meeting was published on the district's publicly accessible website, www.sdst.org. The agenda for the meeting would include the election of the president and vice president of the Board of School Directors. The notice of the reorganization meeting was also advertised in the Intelligencer on Sunday, November 28th, 2021. At this time, we're going to take nominations for an election of a temporary president. Are there any nominations for temporary president? At this time, are there any other nominations for temporary president? If there are no other nominations, can I get a motion to close nominations?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
At this time, I'm going to take a roll call. Mr. Bedard.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin.
Aye.
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski. As the nominations are closed and Ms. Lipinski is the only candidate nominated, I move for Ms. Lipinski's election by acclamation for the position of temporary president. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye. Just find my place here. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the seating of newly elected board members. The Montgomery County Board of Commissioners has certified the results of the municipal general election of November 2nd, 2021 in Montgomery County for the office of school director in the Springfield Township School District as follows: Ms. Carla Green, Ms. Sarah Hughes, Ms. Amy Hubley, and Dr. Karen Taratuski. I'd like to introduce Judge McGill will administer the oaths of office for the new board members en masse by directing the new members to repeat after her. So you guys can come up.
Good evening, everyone. I do solemnly swear
Solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And now we move on to nominations for president for the ensuing year. At this time, I would like to ask, are there any nominations for president? I would like to nominate Jeffrey Bedard. Are there any other nominations for president? As the nominations are closed, since there are no other nominations, and Mr. Bedard is the only candidate nominated, I move for Mr. Bedard's election by acclamation for the position of president. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Thank you, appreciate it. Are there nominations now for vice president of the board?
I would like to nominate Mr. Michael Needleman.
And are there other nominations for vice president? Hearing none, as the nominations are closed and Mr. Needleman is the only candidate nominated, I move for Mr. Needleman election to be elected by acclamation for the position of vice president. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. Ceremony, movement. So as Mr. Needleman gets settled, we do have committee appointments. But before we do that, I'd like to open up for any comments from our new sitting board members and any newly elected positions to the board. So does anyone like to make a comment?
I would like to congratulate Mr. Bedard and Mr. Needleman and thank them very much for taking the leadership of the board. I have every confidence that they will fulfill their duties and lead the board and continue to serve this community extraordinarily well as they have for the last several years. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Other comments? Well, I will take an opportunity, one, just to thank Dr. Taratusky. Your leadership through some pretty extraordinary times. I don't think when I joined the board in 2018, I would have imagined that we would have a new administration, have navigated a pandemic, and have opened and now closed a school in our district. Pretty monumental things. And if you remember what I said to you when I joined, I wanted this to make sure that this was the safest place for our kids, that it was the center of our community, and that our kids could thrive in a global, diverse community. The work on equity that you've led, with the work on those projects you mentioned and through this pandemic, pretty incredible work. So thank you for everything, for your leadership.
Appreciate that.
Indeed. Thank you, Dr. Tarasov. And while we have a microphone, we should acknowledge Dr. Yannicone's 1-year anniversary in position. So congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah. Pretty extraordinary year. Okay, so we do have 2 appointments for vocational technical school and the MCIU board. That's the Montgomery County Intermediary Unit for representation on the board. I do propose that we have 2 individuals that may fill these positions. I would like to move for the appointment of Ms. Amy Hubley to represent the board at the MCIU Board of Directors, and Dr. Carol Etlin for the Eastern Center for Arts and Technology Board of Directors. I believe we can do this by proclamation. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Good. And now we open it up for comments from Dr. Yannicone.
Thank you, Mr. Bedard. I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate Mrs. Hughes, Mrs. Hubley, and Ms. Green on their election to the board and thank them for their willingness to serve our community in such impactful and important roles. I look forward to working with each of you. I would also like to take a moment to personally thank Dr. Taratuski for her leadership as president of the board during my first year as superintendent. Serving on the board is a time-consuming and challenging job, but leading the board as president is on another level with regard to service, time, and expectations. Dr. Taratuski has led Springfield through construction projects, change of leadership, as Mr. Bedard just mentioned, significant cultural and political debate, and a 100-year pandemic. She has done so with a clear vision and understanding of the role and responsibility of board leadership, and she has maintained a climate of professionalism and student-centered focus that has served our community very well. I am grateful to Dr. Taratuski for remaining in the leadership role over the past year, as it has allowed me the luxury of experience on which to rely as a new superintendent. Looking ahead, I am excited for the year to come with our new team of 10. I'm committed to continuing to build upon our district's successes, and I'm happy to have Mr. Bedard at the helm as we head into 2022 with Mr. Needleman right there to support him. Thank you to each of you, whether new or returning members of the board, for giving your time and attention to supporting our administration and staff in serving our students and families. I know we have a number of our school district administrators here tonight, and they're very grateful for the fact that you are all such committed members of the community and committed to public education and making Springfield the very best it can be. So thank you very much.
Committee appointments. Okay, then we do have open public comment. And again, this is public comment on the reorganization meeting. We have a regular board meeting that's following this immediately. But is there any public comment on this meeting? Very good. Then we will go ahead and adjourn this reorganization meeting, and just 1 minute to swap some computers and name tags, and then we'll be up and running with the regular board meeting. We'll keep the stream live. Very good. That adjourns this meeting. Thank you. Swap computers. So I'm going to go. It's a pleasure to call my first meeting in this position to order. It's Tuesday, December 7th. This is our regular board meeting of the School District of Springfield Township. The board had an executive session at 6 p.m. Discussing an important legal matter. And we can go ahead and get started. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A reading of the mission statement. The mission of the School District of Springfield Township is to educate and develop all students as learners and citizens who are high achieving, resilient, and responsible in a changing global community. Let's do roll call.
Mr. Needleman,
Here.
Mr. DeFranco,
Here.
Dr. Etlin,
Here.
Ms. Lipinski,
Here.
Dr. Teratosky,
Here.
Ms. Hubley,
Here.
Ms. Green,
Here.
Ms. Hughes.
Here.
Announcements. The board, at its discretion, may videotape all or any portion of the public board meetings subject to the limitations set forth in policy 006.2, broadcasting of meetings. Board meetings will be broadcast on Friday afternoon following the board meeting. We're going to move right into administrative reports. Dr. Yannicka.
Thank you, Mr. Bedard. I'm going to begin tonight with Spartan Spotlight and then provide the administrative report. We have a lot of students here tonight. You can't see them right now, but they're going to be out here in just a minute. And I want to give them a chance to get home and get to their homework if necessary, as early as possible. So it's my pleasure tonight to welcome our student athletes, families, and coaches of several of our fall athletic programs for tonight's Spartan Spotlight. Each group recognized tonight has earned a league, district, or state title, or has qualified for a state finals competition. We had a very successful fall season. As a former student athlete, coach, and high school principal, I have a strong affinity and respect for interscholastic athletics. They are an integral component of a comprehensive educational program, teaching students not only about teamwork, but perseverance, commitment to one's community, the benefits of physical activity, and loyalty to a cause greater than oneself. Dr. Rittenhouse, our high school principal, and Mr. Giordano, our interim athletic director, will be introducing each of our coaches, who will then introduce each of our teams. So I'll invite Dr. Rittenhouse to come forward.
Hello, thank you, and welcome everybody. I apologize to the school board of directors for my back. So three things. It is a successful fall season when we have a staging area for all the student athletes. And I'm louder than they are. I'm telling them to be quiet. So you probably heard me telling them to be quiet, not hearing them, but you'll see them in a minute. Second, we had almost 400 student athletes in the fall. We only have 743 kids. That's 53% of our kids played a fall sport. And we had a wonderful fall season, which you'll hear about this evening. I'd like to thank a couple people, Superintendent's Office, Dr. Yannick and Luann McKenna. Luann works behind the scenes, getting the letters out, inviting you all to the meeting tonight, and kind of behind the scenes in the AD's office. Joe Ferraro, who's at home with Lizzie and Grace, his new baby, and we'll be back in January. Dave Giordano, who's a colleague of mine in the department and is the LTS AD, has just been a rock star and has done a wonderful job. And Taryn Igo, who also is, you'll hear tonight, is water polo coach, social studies teacher, and helps out in the athletic director's office. The board of school directors, the families of all our student athletes. You'll hear from Coach Igo, Coach Woods, Coach Vitsa, and Coach Malora. And you'll hear about our stupendous, wonderful, and awesome fall season. We had 2 state qualifiers. We had 1 Suburban 1 championship, 1 District 1 championship, and then 2 state championships this year. And again, it was a historical season. I'm certainly proud of all of our student athletes. So with no further ado, I will go to the staging area here. It's like the Academy Awards. Coach Igo, and we had a change in plan, Coach. The athletes are going to come up here behind you. And if you could speak to the crowd. into the pit. Thinking for pictures. What are you thinking, Dr. Yannicka? Yeah, you come right up in here. Come into the pit here. I thank you, Dr. Ritt. Dr. Yannicka and members of the board, thank you for the invitation to come here and recognize our water polo team. So we have the girls small school state championship water polo team here. This was our largest team, the largest team we've ever had in the history of our program, with 29 girls. And if you know anything about water polo, it's not an easy sport. It's very difficult to learn. It's very physical. It's exhausting. And these girls did not let any of that deter them. So it's awesome that there's so much interest in the sport. So I'm just going to run through the roster real quick and introduce our team, starting with our seniors. We have Sky Buckner, Captain Sarah Cooper, Sarah Corcoran, Tierney Hennigan, Captain Tierney Hennigan, Molly Hennigan, Ellie O'Malley, Maya Solomon, Hallie Schwartzman, and Francie Yeagle. Those are our seniors. Our juniors are Mika Gratistanek, Zoe Green, Lily Coonrad, Tegan Kowalik, Delaney Lake, Anya Lynn, Amy Pischke, Ella Rakowski, Taylor Schultz, and Autumn Singletary. Those are our juniors. Clap it up. We have two sophomores on our team, Anna Clark and Anna Hyland. And a large freshman class, Josie Clark, Lainey Forrester, Olivia Igo, Reagan McGuire, Kayla Mateo, Ashley Schultz, Jess Shapley, and Hayden Smith. You guys want to get some pictures? Okay. All right, thank you, girls. Do it one more time. Should be, you know, this back. Did you already introduce them? Next will be the boys water polo team. I'll be introducing Mr. Coach Igo again. And again, as you heard what he had said, they're historical numbers for us. We were at 10, 12, 13 per team, and we're up in the 20s to the 20 to 25, and topping out at like 45 to 48, I believe. So over here. All right, so again, like Dr. Ritz said, this was one of our largest boys teams, and most successful. It's probably the best boys team we've had in the history of our program. They won 22 games this season, and they brought home their third state championship in the last 4 years. They won last year, back-to-back this year, and in 2018 they won their first title. So 3 championships in 4 years. That's not too bad. So I'm going to read through these guys real quick. There's not as many as the girls. So we have our captains, senior Bennett Rethusen, Michael Hood, and Owen Bowles. We have 4 juniors, Will Horn, Ben Post, Finley Spratt, and Coda Fabian. Our sophomores are Will Cross, Gabe Floor, Tommy Koppel, Sam Pugh, Matt Hood, Jacob Christ, Ryan McKelvey, and Nate Levy. And our freshmen are Ravi Padmanabhan, Michael Cooper, Gavin Lake, Chase Paroli, Aiden Hood, and Johnny Gendron. So why don't you guys come in here? We'll get a picture.
I'm in fine.
All right. Thank you so much for having us. Okay, congratulations to both water polo teams. As they exit to the staging area, I'm more nervous than I am during graduation. So the next team we will honor is the golf team, and Coach Vitsa will be here shortly with his team. Coach Vitsa. You're going to speak right here. And our champions will stand right behind you.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen of the board and the administration, just a quick thank you on behalf of the golf team for the support we received throughout the year. It was a successful year. We were 8-0 in league play, qualified for postseason and at 2 levels. And for the team, we have senior Charlie Price. We have junior Molly Young, who made it to second year state championship, was all Montgomery County honorable mention. And then we have Kayla Parsons, who's a junior, second year with the team. We have Dave D'Amico, who's a sophomore, his second year with the team. Ethan Shore, who was second year with the team, who was first team Freedom Division, which was the division we played in where we earned the league championship. Adam Floor, who was a sophomore captain. Ooh, just back to Molly really quickly. This is totally something that has to be noted. Molly is the first female captain in the history of the program. Also, we had Adam Floor, who's a sophomore captain, who was first team Freedom Division, district qualifier, and he was also honorable mention Montgomery County All Area, which is a pretty big accolade because it extends beyond the league itself into surrounding divisions and leagues other than the one we play in. We also had Matthew Capraferri, who was the first year joining us with a sophomore, and also not with us tonight is Jack Sarsfield, who was a freshman, and Hunter Davis was a freshman. So these are the 2021 8-0 SOL Freedom Division champs. Oh, picture.
Get a good picture. Love the shirt. Okay, congratulations, Coach Vitsa. SCHS Spartan Golf Team, way to go. The next team we will honor will be Coach Malora. Come on up and grab the microphone.
All right. I know it looks like the golf team, but no, that's you. So my name is Dan Malora. I'm the coach of the girls soccer team here at Springfield. And this year, a much bigger team than this took home the district title, which is a very big accomplishment for our school, given that the league we play in is very big. And this has been out of our reach for the past few seasons. And this team got it together with the help of a very supportive senior class and some amazing captains and some amazing players that we want to recognize tonight. We have the ones that aren't at a basketball game or at Chipotle right now. And we're happy to have them. So we have our senior captains, Grace Gieshtow, Julie Needhammer, and Emily Smith. Grace is here holding our trophy. We also have Bridget Gieshtow and Vivian Lamb as our seniors. We had a pretty good sized team this year that performed very well, and we're very proud of them. We want to make sure their names are heard tonight. So Kendall Donnelly, Ashley Jenkins, Lindsay Lewis, Shannon Meter, Paige Robinson, Emily West, Alyssa Benko, Hannah Brandon, Grace Daly, Alana Decker, Jana Evanik, Libby Klein, Ashley Lamb, Maddie McDevitt, Samantha McDevitt, Kaylee Noonan, Maya Pazika, Fiona Rizzo, Julie Robinson, Michaela Stewart, Tess Talbot, Marlo Williams, Sophie Williamson, Emily Briggs, Avery Cleary, Jocelyn Davis, Helen Lutz, Grace Robinson, Lainey Rumor, Nick Shermer, Shannon Silvius, Avery Spencer, and Amelia Wood. Although we're missing a lot of them tonight, this team was a very close team, and we're really proud of them. We know they've got a lot of work to do and that they couldn't make it tonight, but they're with you girls now, and we're very proud of you. Yep.
That's your District 1 champion girls soccer. Okay, congratulations to the soccer team, girls soccer, good job. And last but certainly not least, Coach Woods will speak about our wonderful cross-country season.
Hello, how's everyone doing tonight? All right, as you can see, they saved the best for last. So I'm not going to be before you long, but I am Coach Woods. My athletes know how extremely proud I am of them. And I'm just glad that the opportunity presented itself at a platform like this so that you all can recognize and honor them, because they are very well deserving of this recognition. Any of you know running is not easy, right? Because if it was easy, everybody would do it. But these ladies took it upon themselves day in and day out, countless hours of practice, blood, sweat, and tears, put the miles in, put the work in, executed the game plan. And when we came out with a strategy of what they needed to do at districts this past season, up at the Lehigh course, they did exactly just that. And as a result, they were my first two athletes, not one, but two, that qualified for the state championships up at Hershey, PA. Yeah. This was the first time in school history, I think. We never had two athletes qualify in one season for a state meet. It's not easy. It's really not. Running in itself is already hard. So now you have to then try to qualify for a big meet like that. And, you know, it's just not easy. So with that being said, without further ado, I would like to acknowledge my captain on my girls' team. That's a sophomore, Mary Kate Gallagher, and my freshman, I call her my freshman powerhouse phenom, Ella Walsh.
Congratulations, ladies. Thank you, Coach. And I'm proud of all of our student athletes and looking forward to the winter, which began 2 weeks ago.
Thanks very much, Dr. Rittenhouse. And thanks to all of our coaches and athletes and families for being here. And that concludes the spotlight portion of my report. And I'm going to shift to the administrative report. So first of all, clinic recognition. I'd like to publicly thank our maintenance crew, Mr. Chinta, who's there at the back of the room, our administrative assistants, and the Keystone Hospice team, who ran another successful vaccine clinic last Friday at the high school. We had over 800 students and adults receive second doses and boosters in just over 6 hours, over 800 in just over 6 hours. The staff members from Keystone were professional, patient, highly skilled, and it made for a safe, efficient, and really enjoyable afternoon for most of us. Not every kid was enjoying it, but most of us. Through their efforts, we've continued to be over 85%, we've contributed to the over 85% of Montgomery County residents 5 and up who are now partially or fully vaccinated against COVID-19. So some really good news there. On a related note, I know that families are waiting to hear what the masking plans will be for the second semester. The Office of Public Health in Montgomery County is finalizing their guidance for spring semester health and safety plans for school districts. And we have met as a group of superintendents with their leadership and CHOP physician, Dr. David Rubin, multiple times over the past month to prepare and plan for a safe winter and spring in our schools. Tomorrow, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court is scheduled to hear arguments on the governor's mask mandate, but it is important for all families to remember that our district health and safety plan includes universal masking through the end of the fall semester, as I shared in an email to all families and staff last month. The draft health and safety plan for the spring semester will be sent to families in early January and will be brought before the board for a vote at our January 18th regular meeting, which is our next meeting as a board. I'd like to give a brief update on our equity audit. Our equity team has continued to meet on a monthly basis to review data identified and gathered to help us set priorities for our 3-year action plan. Next Wednesday afternoon, the equity team will meet with representatives from Penn's Delaware Valley Consortium for Equity and Excellence, who have completed a qualitative study and analysis of our district through an equity lens. The team will then collaborate on a draft action plan, which will be presented to the public on January 12th at a virtual meeting to which the entire public is invited. We are hopeful that members of the community will join us to hear the findings and plans of the equity team and provide us feedback. The presentation of our final action plan will be brought to the board for your approval on January 18th as well. And lastly, this evening, I want to just give an update on the Enfield project and the anticipated demolition date. So tonight's agenda includes approval of B. Blair as the lowest responsible bidder for the new athletic fields and field house, the project at Church Road. Today, the auction for Enfield school items went live at 3 p.m. Access to the auction contents can be found at zieglerauction.com. That's ZIEGLERAUCTION.com. So if you'd like a desk from the original Enfield school, you can go to that website and you will see that Enfield school has a separate tab in the list of auctions. A preview of items on site will be Monday, December 13th from 1 to 4 p.m. So that's next Monday from 1 to 4 p.m. You can go into the school and actually see the items. And the auction will close at 4 o'clock on Tuesday, the 14th, next Tuesday. The removal days for these items, once you've purchased and taken an item, is next Wednesday and Thursday, the 15th and 16th. So we're moving fairly quickly there. In addition, the community is invited to tour both the former Enfield School at Church Road and the new Enfield Elementary at Montgomery Avenue on Saturday, January 8th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This will be the last opportunity for the community to visit the former school before preparations for demolition, which is anticipated to occur in late winter. Information details will be posted on the district website and sent to all families prior to winter break. And that will conclude my administrative report. Thank you.
All right, we are now going to open up for public comments on agenda items. I don't think we have any sign up in the room, but we'll make sure we'll have. We're opening up for public comment on agenda items. See no hands online. I think we can move to our approval of prior meeting minutes. First approval is for our hybrid and interim hybrid meetings. So the Board of School Directors approves the board minutes from November 1st, 2021, the interim hybrid board meeting, and November 16th, 2021, regular hybrid board meeting. Is there a motion? Motion. And a second? Second. Any comments or questions?
Sorry. Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Taratusky.
Aye.
Ms. Hubley.
Aye.
Ms. Green.
Aye.
Ms. Hughes.
Aye.
And Mr. Bedard.
Aye. Moving to human resources, personnel and HR contracts. Subject personnel. The Board of School Directors approves the following personnel as presented in the attachment, personnel 211207. Is there a motion? Motion. And a second.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Taratusky.
Aye.
Ms. Hubley.
Aye.
Ms. Green.
Aye.
Ms. Hughes.
Next, under finance, subject audit report year-end 6/30/2021. The Board of School Directors approves the Finance Committee's recommendation to accept the audit report for the year-end June 30th, 2021, as prepared by Bars, Gowie, Amon, and Foltz LLC for the School District of Springfield Township. Is there a motion? In a second.
Second.
Any comments or questions on the audit report?
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Taratusky.
Aye.
Ms. Hubley.
Aye.
Ms. Green.
Aye.
Ms. Hughes.
Exciting subject here, the appointment of acting board treasurer. I meant that seriously, this is exciting. The Board of School Directors approves the appointment of Ms. Emily Kerr as acting board treasurer effective December 7th, 2021. Is there a motion? Motion. Second.
Second.
Any comments or questions? I would just comment that Ms. Kerr is a wonderful administrative partner, and I look forward to her in this position.
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Taratusky.
Aye.
Ms. Hubley.
Aye.
Ms. Green.
Aye.
Ms. Hughes.
Moving to property, subject athletic fields and field house project. The Board of School Directors approves B. Blair as the lowest responsible bidder for the new athletic fields and field house project for a total contract amount of $4,044,000, which includes the base bid and alternates A through E, G.1, and G.2. Is there a motion? Motion. Second. And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions on the bid approval?
Can I just say that I'm excited? I feel like this has been in limbo since I got on the board, and it's only been 2 years, but this was like where everything was when I first started. And now here we are bringing it through, even though, we've had other things that we had to focus on, which were very important, but it's nice to see this getting picked back up and moving forward. Even though it's bittersweet, because I know a lot of people are sad to see the old building go.
I actually did have one question, and I'm sorry to go from the excitement because I'm excited as well, but in the bid itself, there were 2 of these alternates that we've selected to do repair work on concrete. And would love to know like how that's, like how that is built into this project and the need for those repairs as well.
Ask Mr. Thorne to come forward. Did you hear the question? Okay, thank you.
Yes, that's correct.
in the middle school. This has been on the capital project list for about 2 or 3 years. We put it out to bid. The prices we were getting back, the bids were really high, extremely high than what we budgeted for. So we thought we would fold it into this project to get a preferred bidding price because the contractor is doing a lot of work at the old Enfield site. So, and indeed, the prices did come back for those alternates way low than we were getting bids prior. So it was just a nice way to fold this into our overall capital project plan.
Very creative. Excellent.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Ms. Green. You're up for a vote.
Mr. Needleman,
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco,
Aye.
Dr. Edlin,
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski,
Aye.
Dr. Teratuski,
Aye.
Ms. Hubley,
Aye.
Ms. Green,
Aye.
Ms. Hughes.
Okay, we're moving to public comment on non-agenda items. And we do have some signups in the room. Just a reminder for procedure, we have 30 minutes maximum allocated for public comment. Try and keep everyone to 3 minutes. And these are non-agenda items, so free to talk on any topics that you come to discuss. So first, we have, and I apologize on the, I believe this is Eileen Sherrod. Eileen, I'm sorry. Yep, you can come on up and just introduce yourself and where you live in the district.
Good evening. My name is Eileen DeFranco, and I live on Highland Avenue in Flourtown. I'm usually the oldest person here testifying. And in spite of that, I am not one of those who believe that there is any such thing as a golden age to which we would ever want to return. I've lived in a past filled to the brim with racism, sexism, and illnesses that could not be treated with vaccines until I suffered from each and every one of them. However, there is one thing I do miss from the past, and that is respectful discourse and good manners. At the last meeting, someone on Zoom made a comment about library books being banned. Again, because of my life experiences, I take the possibility of any book being banned quite seriously. So after the meeting, I immediately went to the top and asked Dr. Yannicone if any books were indeed banned in Springfield. She responded in the negative. She did tell me that there was a course available to high school students called Banned Books. Since I always research topics before I speak publicly about them, I went onto the school library site where I indeed found that there is a category called Banned Books. And it took less than a minute to learn that all of those books were available in the library for children to read, and that this section was merely a collection. I went even further and learned that my grandchildren had been able to take out the books that were listed as banned. So just to correct the record, there are no banned books in the Springfield Library. This last week has taught us yet again that there is much that our children need to be protected from, but it's not books or uncomfortable historical realities. 4 families in Michigan lost their beloved children, and I shall repeat that. 4 families lost their beloved children. How does a family and a school community ever recover from such a horrible tragedy? I would suggest that they don't ever. In light of the ongoing and terrible tragedy of school shootings, I would also like to suggest that the sudden and newfound concerns about library books and the teaching of social studies pale beside the issue of school safety. All of us should be working towards a society where little children do not need to be taught to blockade a shooter from entering their classroom or try to take them down if they do. I was one of those little children who had to hide under her desk or sit in the hallway during what was euphemistically called air raid drills. I knew at age 7 that if a bomb dropped on my school, I would be dead. And it took me a long time to recover from that fear. Parents do not need to take on school curriculum or school libraries, claiming an expertise they do not have.
Sorry, that's time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I just say one more sentence, please?
Yes.
they do need to take measures to ensure that our children are not the collateral damage of misguided gun policies. Thank you.
Mr. Franco. Next comment is from Ms. Gina Donato.
Hi, I'm Gina Donato. I live on West Mill Road in Flowertown. I'm speaking today because at recent school board meetings, I've been alarmed to hear some members of our community advocating for the removal of books they deem sexually offensive, profane, or immoral. These were the same arguments used in 1982 to ban Judy Blume's award-winning novel, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. This book, for which I'm forever grateful to have had available to me as an awkward prepubescent girl, it tackled issues such as menstruation, breast development, and nascent sexual feelings. But besides having been given some salacious adjectives by their opponents, what could Judy Blume's classic coming-of-age story possibly have in common with the two books brought into question at recent school board meetings? Namely, All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson and Genderqueer by Mciu. It's quite simple. All three books discuss topics that some adults, some parents don't want to acknowledge or talk about because these books may make them feel uncomfortable. But confronting difficult situations and providing children with resources to understand that they are not alone, that they are seen, and that someone else has experienced exactly what they are going through is our duty as responsible adults. And that is true whether our kids see themselves in novels and memoirs that discuss the exciting and confusing time of discovering one's sexuality, because to be very clear, describing teen sexuality is not pornography. Whether they're discussing struggles with gender identity or substance abuse, or feelings of fear or shame after having been the victim of bullying, sexual abuse, or even incest. If you ban or restrict books discussing these topics, which our kids are dealing with, you're negating their experiences and reinforcing harmful feelings of shame. I remember those feelings of shame and embarrassment around my developing body and finding such solace in Judy Blume's book. But in the end, maybe my experience as a cisgender white female some 30 years ago is completely irrelevant to today's conversation.
Ma'am, 1 minute.
As such, I reached out to an expert. Jennifer Brees Schultz is a counselor who works extensively with marginalized youth, and I asked her specifically about the controversy around these books. Here's what she had to say. We all know that media representation is a powerful tool that helps shape the cultural understanding of people, places, groups of people like those identifying as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or other non-gender conforming identities. For young people, seeing characters that are like them normalizes their existence and can actually be a life-saving support, especially when, according to the CDC, LGBTQIA+ youth are 4 times more likely to seriously consider suicide, make a plan for suicide, and to attempt suicide than their peers. And the Trevor Project estimates that at least one LGBTQIA+ youth between the ages of 13 and 24 attempts suicide every 45 seconds in the US. Removing LGBTQIA+ media, one sentence, or media about any marginalized group sends a message to kids that this population is indeed excluded, unacceptable, and not supported. It is the school's responsibility to educate young minds and support all children equally as protected under Title IX. Thank you.
Our next sign up is from Mr. Robert Goldberg.
Hi, yeah, my name is Rob Goldberg. I live on Erdenheim Road in Erdenheim. And I was moved to speak after hearing one of the comments at the last school board meeting expressing concerns about books in the school library. So my opinions are these. I would say that parents can have reasonable disagreements about which books are appropriate or not appropriate for their own children. However, these people with concerns cannot make decisions for other parents by banning books or asking that books be removed from a library. And I would propose that people that have these concerns, they should independently themselves reach out to a librarian and make sure that their children cannot read these books, but they can't make decisions for other people. And and they can't make decisions for other people by turning up the temperature of the discussion by using inflammatory, accusatory language, such as was made in the last school board meeting. And so that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. And our last sign up is from Ms. Alice Lesma.
Good evening. My name is Alice Lesnick. I live on Erdenheim Road in Erdenheim. I'm the mother of 2 daughters who came through Springfield schools and were very well prepared for college and life. I want to give appreciation for that and for the teachers and librarians and families who are charged to guide kids. So I also came to speak about sort of out of concern, first appreciation, and then out of concern for a divisive approach to this issue of banning books and the collections in libraries. I think it's useful to hear from the American Library Association. So I'm going to read one paragraph from their statement about the library, which is a cornerstone of the community dedicated to serving the information needs of everyone. As such, libraries collect and make available a wide variety of information resources. With such a broad spectrum of ideas and information available, it is inevitable that people will occasionally encounter resources they believe to be inappropriate or offensive. And what I would hope is that in our community, we would model approaches to conflict that minimize divisiveness, threat, suspicion, and that maximize dialogue, reasoned problem solving, and focus on what look to be much greater crises facing us, including school violence, proliferation of guns, killing young people, climate change, and the protection of voting. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Just for all of the signups we had, I do want to make sure we check online, and if anyone else would like to speak, feel free to raise your hand. There are no other hands raised online or in the room. Move to future meeting dates, future board meetings. There will be a meeting, well, today's December 7th, I shouldn't read that. There's an interim board meeting on Tuesday, January 4th. This is hybrid, but it has been canceled. So please do not show up at the Freeze Auditorium or the Freeze Lobby. The regular board meeting will take place on Tuesday, January 18th, 2022. This will be hybrid, so in person and online. We have a future committee meeting dates coming up. A policy committee meeting is happening this Thursday, December 9th, 2021, 8 a.m., and that is virtual. Details are on the district website. So with that, I think we are set to adjourn our meeting for this evening. Again, congratulations to our newest board members, and another thank you to Dr. Karen Taratuski for your leadership. Thank you. Meeting is adjourned.